She turned down my marriage proposal, then uploaded a picture of the ring on Instagram with the caption, "I know my worth, and this isn't it." That post blew up online. I left a comment under it, "Neither are you. That ring is fake." Right after, I uploaded a screenshot of the receipt showing it cost just $6, pure cubic zirconia. The online crowd flipped against her in seconds. The backlash was so intense she ended up wiping her whole account. Let me start off by saying I'm a pretty straightforward person. I enjoy my work, I love heading out to fish on weekends, and I truly believe that a person's true character is their most precious possession. For the past couple of years, I had been in a relationship with a woman named Jessica. I used to think we shared the same outlook on life. Now I realize the only thing she truly valued was how much affection could be traded for high-end items. Apparently, I wasn't able to match her going rate. We seemed to have a solid life, at least from my perspective. We shared a comfortable apartment. My name was on the lease. I covered most of the expenses, and we often discussed what lay ahead. The trouble was, our visions of tomorrow couldn't have been more different. That I pictured a real partnership, growing together, maybe one day owning a home with some grass out front. She envisioned perfectly edited Instagram shots, shelves lined with luxury purses, and a guy who doubled as both personal photographer and walking credit card. Over the last half year or so, her fixation on appearances had grown steadily worse, like a persistent low fever. Everything revolved around image. She'd go on and on about friends who were getting engaged, but never once about how strong their relationships were. All she ever mentioned were the rings. "Have you seen the stone Mike bought Ashley? Gotta be at least 3 carats, she'd say while swiping through her screen. It was never, "They look so happy together." It was always the size of the diamond. I could tell the big question was coming. Her hints were about as subtle as a sledgehammer. She'd leave tabs open on my computer showing expensive jewelry collections. She'd tag me in advertisements from high-end brands. I genuinely loved her and really wanted to build a life with her. But this intense focus on the ring itself was a glaring warning sign that it seemed like she cared more about the prop than the promise behind it. That's when I decided to run a quiet experiment. A test of her true nature. I needed to find out, beyond any doubt, whether she loved me as a person or simply loved what I might be able to offer her materially. The strategy was straightforward. I purchased 2 different rings. The first was the genuine article. I spent weeks doing research, then visited a trusted, family-run jewelry store and selected a gorgeous, timeless 2-carat diamond solitaire. It was refined, classic, and carried a serious price tag. This was the ring I intended to present to the woman I hoped to spend forever with. I kept it locked away safely in the back of my safe. The second one was purely for the experiment. I ordered a $6 cubic zirconia ring off Amazon. It looked shiny and eye-catching from far away, but up close it screamed low quality, basically something you'd win at a carnival. That was the ring I planned to propose with. My logic was clear-cut. If she truly loved me, the quality of the ring wouldn't matter. She'd be thrilled about the commitment itself, and later we'd laugh about the cheap prop when I revealed the real diamond. But if she was mainly interested in status and appearances, the truth would reveal itself immediately. The proposal night arrived last Saturday. I chose a lovely botanical garden at sunset, the same spot where we'd had one of our earliest dates. I dropped to one knee and I poured my heart out in a sincere speech about our shared journey and dreams ahead. Her eyes glistened. Her phone was discreetly recording everything, clearly intended for her upcoming social media moment. Then I opened the little box. I studied her expression the instant she saw the $6 ring. The joyful, eager smile instantly froze. It didn't simply disappear. It twisted into something sour. A wave of complete revulsion swept across her face. She glanced from the ring to my face, then back again, as though I'd handed her a dead insect. "What is that?" she asked in a flat, icy tone. "It's an engagement ring," I replied, still kneeling, keeping up the act. "Jessica, will you marry me?" She let out a brief, harsh, unpleasant laugh. "With that? You've got to be kidding." Her voice carried far enough that a nearby couple glanced over. "No, absolutely not." She rose to her feet and stared down at me with utter disdain, as if we'd never even met. "I can't believe you'd humiliate me like this." She spat as I stood up slowly. My heart wasn't shattered. Oddly enough, I felt strangely steady. The experiment had delivered crystal clear results. "Humiliate you?" I asked softly. "Yes, humiliate me," she snapped. "My friends get real diamonds. My friends get Tiffany. And you show up with this garbage? What am I supposed to do? Post this online? People would laugh in my face." I simply looked at her. "So your answer is no? Because of the ring?" "My answer is no because I know my value," she declared, squaring her shoulders. "And this doesn't come close." With that, she spun around and marched off, leaving me standing alone among the flowers. I glanced down at the inexpensive, glittery ring still sitting in the box. $6. Easily the most valuable $6 I'd ever spent. That tiny sum had just spared me decades of heartache and a very costly divorce down the road. I snapped the box shut, slipped it into my pocket, and left. The relationship was finished. But I knew the real drama was only starting. That night I went home, packed a suitcase, and left. I had zero interest in sticking around for the inevitable explosion. I spent the next few nights on a friend's couch as predicted. My phone lit up with furious messages from Jessica. A combination of rage and demands that I return and make this right. I didn't reply. Nothing needed fixing. The next morning, the real performance started. Just as she'd predicted, Jessica went public with her version. But she did something I hadn't expected. During her angry exit from the garden, she must have doubled back and grabbed the ring box from my jacket pocket when I wasn't paying attention, or maybe it fell out in the confusion. Either way, she had it. She uploaded a carefully staged photo to Instagram. A perfectly lit shot of her manicured hand holding the $6 cubic zirconia ring between thumb and index finger, tilted to catch every bit of fake sparkle. But the caption was the real masterpiece. She wrote, "Some chapters simply aren't meant to continue. Last night someone asked me an important question, but I chose to honor myself and follow my heart that I know my worth, and this isn't it." To every powerful woman reading this, never accept anything below your standards. Value yourself. Self-love always wins. You deserve the absolute best. Thank you. Next. Victory hand. It was a perfect blend of victim narrative and faux empowerment, and the internet swallowed it whole. Within hours, the post had thousands of likes and shares. Lifestyle pages and aspiring influencers were reposting it everywhere. The comment section turned into a flood of praise for her and attacks on me. I was nameless in the story, but people still called me every insult imaginable. Stingy, pathetic, broke, loser. Women hailed her as brave and empowered. Men wrote things like, "You dodged a massive bullet, queen." She became an instant symbol, a champion for anyone who believed jewelry defined relationship value. She soaked up every bit of it, replying to comments, thanking supporters, and adding dramatic new details to her tale. She claimed I'd been pressuring her for ages and this insulting ring was the breaking point. She was carefully crafting an entire persona. The courageous woman who refused to settle for a low-value man. I watched the whole spectacle unfold from my friend's place, feeling strangely detached and calm. Every like, every share, every word of admiration was simply more fuel. She was building her own trap, and she was admiring the construction that my friends kept calling angry for me. Are you seeing this? You need to speak up. Patience, I kept saying. Let her enjoy the spotlight. Let her gain as much attention as possible. The higher she rose, the more painful the eventual crash would be. For 2 solid days, I let her surf the wave. I let her become an overnight internet icon, the unofficial spokesperson for materialistic expectations. Her post even made it onto a couple of small gossip sites. She was riding high. On the 3rd day, with the post at maximum viral spread, I decided the moment had arrived that I didn't go for some huge dramatic announcement. I chose precision instead. I scrolled to her massively popular Instagram post, waded through thousands of comments, and dropped one simple line from my verified personal account. Neither are you. The ring is fake. Then I switched my phone off. The first piece had fallen. Update #2. When I turned my phone back on a few hours later, it felt like stepping into a tornado. The storm was instant and glorious. That one short comment had detonated right in the center of Jessica's victory parade. My notifications exploded. Friend requests, DMs, replies, the works. The same internet that had cheered for her in unison was now fracturing. Some users accused me of being a bitter, lying ex trying to salvage my ego. Sour grapes, bro. She said no. Move on. Prove it's fake or shut up. But many others were curious. My words had planted a tiny seed of skepticism. People began zooming in on the photo. The setting looks pretty cheap actually. The cut on that stone doesn't look like a real diamond. He commented from his real profile. Why risk that if it's a lie? Jessica panicked. She fired back at my comment. He's lying. He's just mad I turned him down. Ignore him. She began frantically deleting every doubtful comment she could. But the damage was done. She no longer owned the story. The crowd was ready. The spotlight was waiting. Time for the finale. I opened my own Instagram. A quiet profile usually filled with nothing but fishing photos and my dog. But this post would be different. I uploaded a 3-part carousel. Slide 1. A clean screenshot of my Amazon purchase history. Item clearly listed. Brilliance fine jewelry, 2-carat round cubic zirconia sterling silver engagement ring. Date visible. Price circled in bright red. $6.49. Slide 2. A short video of me sitting at my kitchen table. Calm voice, friendly tone. Hey everyone, I'm Kevin. You've probably seen a recent post from my ex-girlfriend Jessica. I just want to set the record straight. I reached over and placed the real diamond ring on the table, the genuine 2-carat solitaire I'd purchased. The camera zoomed in. The stone danced with genuine fire, something the cheap imitation could never match. I believe a marriage proposal should test character, not bank accounts, I explained. I wanted a partner who'd say yes to me, not to a price tag. So I ran a quiet test. The ring she posted was a $6 prop, an experiment. This, I said, gesturing to the diamond, was the real ring. It was meant for the woman I believed she could be. Someone who loved me for me. She didn't just fail the test. She tried to turn her rejection into a personal brand built on greed and shallow values. Slide 3. A clear photo of the jeweler's receipt for the real diamond ring. I'd blacked out the exact price, that felt private, but the shop name, date, and ring description were plainly visible. Caption. Truth will always outshine any diamond. I wish Jessica well in finding someone who matches her expectations. This ring is being returned. My journey to find someone with genuine character continues. I pressed publish and leaned back. The internet took over from there. The response was immediate and overwhelming. My post exploded across platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, everywhere. The same gossip pages that had praised her now ran completely different headlines. Influencer roasted after X exposes $6 fake ring character test. Woman who knew her worth gets epic reality check over fake diamond. The backlash against her was ferocious, brutal even, and honestly, deeply satisfying. Her comment section turned into a tsunami of mockery. People reposted my Amazon screenshot. They side-by-side compared my real diamond with her fake one. Hashtag Cubic Chloe started trending. She went from icon to punchline overnight. A living meme. A warning story about greed and superficiality. The entire persona she tried to launch on the foundation of my supposed failure was being torn apart by thousands of strangers online. It was a complete digital dismantling. And I had lit the match. Final update: 4 months have passed since what my friends now call Ringgate. My life has settled back into peaceful, ordinary rhythm. Jessica's life, however, remains anything but peaceful. The 24 hours after my post went live were pure chaos for her. The online ridicule never stopped. Every time she tried to post, the $6 ring comments flooded in. Her follower count, which had spiked during her brief viral moment, began dropping like a stone. Thousands per hour. She attempted damage control with a crying Instagram story video, calling me a manipulative psychopath who'd tricked her. But the evidence was overwhelming. The receipts were ironclad. Her video only fueled more memes and mockery. Within a week, she couldn't handle it anymore. She deleted her entire Instagram account, every trace of her carefully curated online self. Gone in an instant. The offline fallout was just as harsh. She had to vacate our apartment naturally. My lawyer sent her an official notice. Her parents came to help her move out. A mutual friend told me her parents were mortified, not just by the public shaming, but by the true character their daughter had revealed to the world. Her social circle collapsed too. Many of her friends were also trying to become influencers. They couldn't risk being linked to her now toxic reputation. They quietly distanced themselves both digitally and personally. She was left facing the full consequences of her own shallow priorities. As for me, I followed through exactly as promised. I returned the real diamond ring to the jeweler. They were kind and understanding about it. Seeing that money back in my account felt like turning the final page of a long chapter. The surprising part is how this whole thing has quietly changed my life for the better. My story seemed to strike a chord with thousands of people. I received countless messages from both men and women sharing their own experiences with materialistic partners and thanking me for defending the idea that love should mean more than money. I've even gone on a few dates with women who reached out after seeing the post. Women who specifically said they admired the values I stood for. I'm not in a serious relationship yet. I'm in no rush. But for the first time in ages, I feel genuinely hopeful that I ran that test because I was scared of being hurt, scared of investing years in someone who didn't truly love me for me. The test worked. Yes, it stung. But it protected me from decades of pain. Jessica claimed she knew her worth. She was mistaken. She only knew her price tag. And when it mattered most, that price was $6.49. My actions weren't simply about exposing dishonesty. They were about making a point. Character outweighs carrots every time. Integrity matters more than likes. And a man who truly knows his own value doesn't need to buy validation with expensive gifts. He just needs the courage to speak the truth, even if it means tearing down someone else's house of cards.